Welcome to 2ndLap. Happy Wednesday. It's Gramps, your host. Didn't have any prepared sort of opening statements as I have been doing sort of the intros as of late. I would say I'm outside today. I'm sitting down as we kick this off. I will start walking here in a minute, and you get to see me do the best I can to keep myself up and erect while I'm doing the podcast. But just wanted to tell you to go outside and get some sun. Vitamin D. It is this so much. It's so rejuvenating. I feel warm right now. The heat is on my body. And it's like taking some of the earlier parts of the day where I was feeling a little bit, sort of maybe melancholy, and it's fixing all that. So go outside, touch some grass, as they say. 37,796, getting closer to 38,000 miles. I haven't done the math. It's like just under 50 is when I'm at the end of lap 2. I'm going to have to start putting some numbers on when I'm guessing that's going to happen, and we'll put some sort of a contest together. The problem is those contests are usually measured in years. And like my next guest who's been here before, sometimes, their interest is measured in minutes. So could you bring Matt into the room?
Hello.
There he is. He's got his English accent. Welcome back, Matt Endsley. We met and talked before. You were responsible for our, I want to say, the singular largest going of viral as we can with the parts of these podcasts. And it, had to do with a group of people that I have interacted with that are even still, like, new ones were born, meaning I think as a 50-year-old man of this group of, call it 40 and 50-year-olds, and there are 20 and younger year olds that are deadheads as well. And we erupted that on the last go ahead. Remember that?
Vaguely
Specific conversations. You're trying to
Good one.
get
I got my
that.
Deadhead shirt on,
Hey, you're representing.
Yeah.
That's a group of people that has opinions.
Yes. Yes, they do. A full spectrum of opinions, though, I would like to say. And most of them kind of emulate your views on life. To be honest, very positive, very active, very feet on the ground, if you will.
I feel like that, grounded. Like, really, they were that kind of a group. I was going to say, as I don't do much prep, as you can tell. You've been part of this before. But one of the things I was thinking about was they are a group that, did they have one top hit? They had like one, like,
Are you serious?
Or did they have any?
What? They probably have
I'm talking like charts. Like they weren't one of those groups that like was a platinum album kind of company, right?
Well, they have like bajillion albums.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
we
should.
Number one hits. What are we doing? Billboard?
Yes.
That's actually a question I've never really even thought of.
It's something I thought I heard in Trivial Pursuit or something, that like they were like this monstrosity of earnings from traveling around and playing live shows, yet they didn't have, like a Grammy or whatever. They didn't have like anything to like show like they had, like made it, except they were gazillionaires.
Gosh, you know what? I don't think they did have one number one.
See? I actually knew something about this band
you guessed.
that made you interested in this. No, I didn't guess. I'm telling you,
Touch of Grey was number 9 in the 80s. In the Dark was number 6 in the 80s, and I think
never number 1.
They got a lot of. Those are their only 2 that I see
I put him in like the same area as Jimmy Buffett. Like there's this crowd of humans that are like not zombies, but are just kind of falling around, listening to music. As you said, they're
This is
touching the
going through.
ground.
This is going through. So, of course, my phone goes to all the nerdy music sites. Like, so this is Music Chart Archive, and it's
Okay.
going through albums. So,
Okay.
like, there's so many albums that were out there. Like Dave's Picks has like 100 volumes. So it's this dude Dave, and he just like picks his favorite shows.
Okay.
So I would say though that no one had ever achieved the. I mean, Fish is getting up there, and you know that they call Jay-Z the the Grateful Dead of rap because he has so many albums.
Okay. Right. Well, he did all the collaborations. Jay-Z's a master business of, hey, I'm going to just go
Sampler.
get, yeah, I'm going to go sample it. I'm on a record with every different group that's out there. So I'm all of a
Yeah.
sudden fair game.
Yeah, well, I mean, somebody needed to do some kind of collaboration. It's coming up a lot with like new artists like Billy Strings now. He'll go and
Okay.
sit in with another band. I think the jam band genre in general, they like to surprise each other. They're just one big happy family, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. I've never really, you know. It's interesting to. I think the last time we were talking about the Rolling Stones as well. So I
Right.
toured with them a handful of times, and it's bizarre because like you go and you can't like you can think of a couple Rolling Stones songs, and they change their set list for every show pretty much.
Okay.
They let fans vote on it live the last time we toured, what they would play next, but every one of their songs you're like, oh man, that's a hit, you know, like that was on like you instantly know the song and you're
Right.
like, I couldn't have thought of that song, but I know it, you know.
Right.
The Dead, as my wife says, are perpetually making a 1 minute 10-word song or you know last a half an hour.
Sure.
And that's fine with me.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you're responsible. That was the topic. You're getting ready to we're going to talk a couple of things. Travel. You're getting ready to travel again. You're going somewhere in the South.
Yep, I'm going to Tuscaloosa. It is graduation season already.
All right.
Yeah, so I actually like going to the college gigs. It's refreshing. It's easy work. You don't get really messy stuff.
Right.
You're in, you're out. There's usually good food there. College kids like to eat.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be. Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
I
hope
mean,
you
nothing
enjoy
healthy
that.
for me probably, but as I just did my blood work the other day, and I don't know what's up with that. Ooh.
Are you? You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Well, so sure, why not? So I'm taking testosterone.
Okay.
I noticed a
Like
drag.
with an injection, tablets.
Yeah, I do an injection. I'm trying
Okay.
to navigate my stuff because I really like what's his name, Huberman, the Stanford guy.
Yep.
He's got a great podcast as well, and he's really knowledgeable. I'm just kind of diving into it, but I noticed
He and I are neck and neck for number 5 podcast on the charts in Poland.
Yeah,
in Poland. But
really.
yeah, I know he and I are similar topics talking. No,
Maybe,
I'm not really. Not really.
I was going to say
I'm making all this up.
maybe we should all meet in Poland and walk around and do a rival show.
I have been interested in having mine tested. I have seen lots of advertisements of, hey, I was taking the injection, and then Huberman himself talks about how he was, and then he's off, and there's Brecca has been given credit. So what are you doing? Just the regular weekly, daily? How often?
So I'm going to one of those game day places.
Okay.
It's like a franchise, and I specifically went in because they have peptides. So I'm going to do a couple rounds of peptides this year. My dad actually studied those when he was getting his master's in his residency, which is kind of ironic because he could benefit from them, I think, a ton right now with all of his problems.
Right.
But that was the main driving force to go in. I was seeing a functional medicine doctor before that because I just had so many things. I think they were stress related more than anything.
Right.
Go figure. We're just 98% anxiety and maybe a little bit of blood, our bodies, in my opinion. But
there's some water in there too, just to make sure that the fact people don't blackball us.
Well, it's been weird. It's been weird for me though because I've had some weight gain and then I've gotten like fatigued at weird times.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff, the benefits of this specific institution is you kind of get to do whatever you want. They advise you. They have an MP, a doctor on staff, all that kind of stuff. And for a very low rate, I think it's a couple $100 a year. I can go in and get tested, my blood work done every other day if I wanted to.
Okay.
But one of the side effects with this, and I think it's who did you say, Greca or Becca, or what is his name?
Breka, Breka, yes. I think is the guy.
Yes, I follow him too. I forgot his name. One of the side effects of doing TRT is you get really high hemoglobin. Okay. So not only are you not getting the circulation of the testosterone, your blood is dangerously high to like clotting. So that's what I'm going through right now. My hemoglobin was off the charts. And they could have like their response is to like old fashioned bloodletting. So like you go donate blood, which to me is like it's just like the American way. It's like, here's your fix, come back and we'll fix it again in a couple weeks. But to me, as a non-doctor, I would think if your red blood cell count, your hemoglobin is high, when you drain it, your body's going to want to produce more of that. So are you perpetuating the problem? Are you making it worse? So I'm looking into all sorts of cardiovascular, blood pressure supplements. There seems
your
to be.
Dad's a doctor. Have you asked him about this kind of thing, like the whole bloodletting?
He said that's not sound advice. But that's the go-to for almost all of these places.
Wow.
So I don't know that it's going to be, it'll be interesting because I don't know. I have a meeting with a TSA agent of all things on before my flight on Friday because I don't know how to travel with medication like that.
Okay.
And then there's got to be something out there or some way. Maybe I'm sure it's dietary. I'm sure that would help. I'm sure not smoking would help. Which I'm still battling. With the addictive personality, it's just trying to figure out what I can do that will work.
I wasn't even thinking of traveling with the TSA and needles and things like that. Wasn't even that until you said it. I'm like,
it's one of the first things
that would be crazy.
It's one of the first things that I thought of.
Okay.
It's like, and I don't mind needles. I mean, you just stick yourself, whatever. I mean, I feel like everybody's sticking themselves now with the GLP-1 stuff, but
I'm scared to death of needles. So don't say all of us. Oh yeah. I don't even know how, like I watch Annie give herself a B12 shot. I don't remember, once a week or every other week. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it. Like, you just don't know how you do it. I have tattoos, yes, but I'm scared to death of needles.
Yeah, well, there's a joke in there somewhere with a little prick that she maybe married.
Oh, that's going to make one of his clips. That might go around the world a couple times.
She's not afraid of just a little prick.
I'm not afraid of the little prick. It's the bigger needles. Sorry. Okay, so you're meeting with a TSA agent. I'm bringing us back on track. And they're going to teach you how to go through the process or how to make sure you don't get secondary scanned?
I guess. I mean, my expectations are fairly low. But who knows? It might be something that is I mean, I'm sure that. I mean, what do diabetics do? I mean, I'm sure it's a common issue
We
or
go on
common
travel.
concern, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say we go on trips to, out of the country, and we spend sometimes 2 weeks, and we have to take different prescription medications and stuff that we go through, and we've kind of packed them in ways that's
Yeah,
not like we're going in a way that's, I'm trying to set myself up for I don't get put on a list somewhere, but we pack
sure.
in such a way that we don't get questioned.
Yeah. The better idea is to see what is legal and not legal, and always carry your prescription. Well, no, I have
Yeah,
a
you're
story.
right.
I have a
And
story
you're
with
right.
this.
I was gonna
So when I was
go
with
ahead.
Guns N' Roses and we started our European tour,
All right.
we started in Abu Dhabi. Okay.
Yep.
So the UAE specifically has like an ungodly amount of banned medication. I mean, that like an ungodly amount stuff I've never heard of, stuff that's really common. It was,
All
I
right.
think, 10 pages long that our tour
Wow.
manager sent out.
Okay.
So like stuff like that, yeah, be aware. Like
Well, in your situation like that, if you're on a medication that you can't wean yourself off and you can't whatever, and you're
mhm.
required to be in this deal
Oh, you
with
froze
a
on me. Oh, there
lockbox
you
and
are.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost you for a sec.
I'm back. Can you
All
still hear
right.
me?
Yeah, I got you
Yeah.
now. What were you saying though? You like your lockbox or something?
Yeah, I was thinking, is there a way that if you need to keep taking a medication, but you're going to a place that doesn't allow that medication, how do you stay alive? How do you
You
still do your
you
deal?
you you use a lawyer or contact their consulate or
Like
um
declare it some way?
well yeah before you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I mean,
Interesting.
but stuff changes so quickly. I think I remember like Sylvester Stallone or somebody like that getting arrested in Australia because testosterone was illegal. Like that was more than a decade ago probably, but
And there's a joke in there as well, but I'm gonna
oh,
let it go.
I'm sure. I mean, but yeah, it's just those things are top of mind to me.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah,
Well, I mean, I'd be interested to hear what you find out is the best way to travel with that
needles.
kind of product. Yeah, with
Yeah,
needles.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, I hope that the trip is good and you're going to get some good food and you're going to get back into it. You alluded earlier. I've been practicing this journalism stuff. You alluded earlier to an addictive personality, and we haven't talked about our origin story.
Correct.
We met in a farm situation, a farm type house
Technically, the ranch.
or a ranch. I was going to get there.
Yeah.
You know me, clearly. It
Yeah. Yeah.
takes me
Yeah.
longer to get around the tree than you. You're way faster, way
Yeah.
faster. We met at the ranch, and it was a place to go deal with addictive personalities. And
Yes.
I left. I went and was there to stop drinking alcohol and left there, and I consumed some more alcohol after I left there, but eventually used the rules and laws and what do you want to call them? All the things the tools, that's the word I was looking for, the tools and all that kind of stuff to, I haven't had a drink in, it's 10 and a half years. It's almost 11 years. So I feel cleared of that. And anyways, that's where we met. What is your stance on that? You've seen
I
me
still
not drink in 10 years.
that you haven't had a drink in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's made a world of difference in your life, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Me too. Me too.
I think there's I have what in my direct family, cousins and all that stuff. I think there's about 10 that have stopped drinking in the last 2 years,
Okay.
due to various reasons. And it's becoming more common around my life. Like people keep kind of saying, hey, maybe your drink here and now is still a problem. Because I still do drink. I still do partake in other things. It's just nowhere near the garbage level that afflicted me before.
Right. And so you've learned coping skills and other things, and that you're able to yeah, and it's my experience with you because we've been together and I've watched you have a drink, and you seem in control and like you're not trying to rush it down.
Yeah, there are times where I definitely catch myself, and there are times like when my 24-year-old stepson came the other day, and he tried to take me to town. That wasn't very good. Um, I don't I still struggle with a lot of stuff. I think everybody does, if we're really honest. They just some people just don't show it.
Right.
I think the most interesting thing that's come up in my life recently regarding a lot of that is, well, I just alluded that a bunch of close family members who I dearly love have stopped for various reasons.
Right.
And I when I went in, I just couldn't deal with life anymore. I'd gotten in a really bad car wreck, and was on sleeping medication and opioids, and there was a time where I just didn't know what end was up.
Right.
It was a really bad combination, and that it's really true that you can't do that kind of stuff alone, or at least I don't think you're supposed to. I don't think it's healthy to, because I don't think you'd really deal with anything, and you can't do that kind of stuff until you're ready to.
Right.
So at that time, all of those things I needed, and I'm very thankful for the experience. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes I'll go out and have a drink, and I'll not feel too great, or I'll come home and I'll sleep like garbage, or something like that. This has been going on for about a year now, which is why I've been drinking so much less. But I feel a lot of guilt the older I've gotten, and
Okay.
it's come in various forms. I see my niece and nephew, looking at colleges. My nephew's killing it at college. I see my stepdaughter who just had a child, and the change in her life. And then I see my stepson who's working in the service industry as a bartender,
Right.
kind of slip a little. But a lot of my stuff is I feel a lot of guilt, like a lot of wasted opportunities, a lot of almost like survivor's guilt. I had a
Interesting.
friend. Well, I had a friend that I knew a long time ago, and I just read an article about his wife. He was a musician and is a musician in St. Louis, Missouri. An amazing keyboardist. Was in a band with one of my old roommates, and a couple of his cousins, called Funky Butt Brass Band.
Funky butt
They're
brass band. Okay,
they're
I'll look it
really
up.
good.
Okay.
They've done they all still play, or at least the majority of them. I think one of them teaches and songwrites now. But so he was leaving a gig, and I don't remember exactly where in St. Louis, about 10, 12 years ago, and was literally hit by a car walking across the road. And he broke, ungodly amount of bones. Kind of like when
Right.
I showed up to the ranch, I had all my ribs almost still fractured.
Right.
Um, uh, but he fought, and multiple surgeries later, and all this kind of stuff. Come to find out, he was on a family vacation with his wife, who had become this sole breadwinner, and in Nicaragua, of all places, about a month ago, and they had a horrible bus accident going to like I think some kind of sand skiing or something,
Okay.
and she's dead. Their son is in the hospital there, and I'm like, these are great people who like haven't done anything bad in their life, and um, I just like for some odd reason that just it makes me feel really bad about some of the things I've done in my life. So maybe the coping needs to start, or the coping mechanisms need to be brought back into my life at a higher rate. But I think that's part of aging as well. Taking care of my father, who I see, literally dying. I mean, we all are, right? But
Right.
but he's struggling so poorly. Um, it's I think perspective. If you're lucky, you can see it change before your eyes. Um, but the yeah, I struggle in weird ways now.
I hear you. I'm going to mirror back to you, but I'm going to give you what I'm hearing you say is I'm hearing you say that you have multiple situations that are expressing the full definition of mortality to you.
Sure.
And you're struggling with some of the choices, past, present, maybe
Yeah.
even whatever that you're making when you see some of these others. And I've struggled as well. And I think I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've done it on the podcast, but I'm not a huge NASCAR guy. But when Biffle died, Greg Biffle, like
Yeah.
I went through kind of the same thing. Like he had a 5-year-old kid, he had a
Yeah.
daughter that was like just coming in the prime of her life. He had this very, beautiful, successful, vibrant second wife, and life was just starting to really fucking kick it in gear for him. And I swore on purpose because it really bothered me enough that I'm getting emotional as I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking one decision and
Sure.
it's over.
And I've had so many lucky breaks. It's just like when does that faucet turn off? And um, and what am I going to do with these opportunities, these people? How am I going to show up for them?
Right.
And how am I going to show up for myself? It's, I think the perspective change is, I always love the quote, everybody has two lives when they start. Yeah. Your
Till they
real
figure
one
out they have
starts,
one.
yeah. And you can say that till you're red in the face, but if you're not doing anything with it, I get Robbie, I love you to death, but I get super jealous of your positive attitude all the time. I know it's not there all the time. I
Yeah.
know it's a direct reflection of your determination and your found purpose. So like as things change in life, it's everybody goes through it. It's just how you deal with it.
I thank you on the words you used. It is on purpose. I try to actually practice what I preach as opposed to just preach and preach. I'm choosing daily to be positive, to look at every situation in a manner of what can I do to bring something better to this situation as opposed to shit, I got to deal with this again. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing that's, but it's all intentional. And I've done a podcast with Annie and we'll do it again and she'll share, it's not always roses. And there are,
No.
anxiety, as you said, and stress and other things.
It's
And I think she gets the same way as you, where she's like, hey, I'm going to poke you sometime until I get you to cry because I don't want to deal with your positive shit. That's
yeah.
another soundbite, Ronnie. Sound by that one.
Yeah. it's I don't know, all the cliches, they're right though. It's, choose your hard, right?
Yes.
Use that one a lot. I'll reserve my judgment for Tom Hanks, but he is a great actor. But his opinion on some other things I don't necessarily agree with. But I heard one from him the other day that I thought was great. And they said they were asking advice, and he was in this panel, and I'm sure you've seen it. But he said something along the lines of, they're asking him, I believe, what advice would you want to give yourself when you were younger? And his was simple. He said, "This too shall pass," right? But he followed
Yep.
it up with something that I don't think many people realize. He said, you have a heartbreak. Yeah, this will pass. He said, you get that great job. This will pass. You know, it's like the good and the bad, both of them. I mean, you got to hold on to something, and that's a struggle for a lot of us that go through addictive issues. You know,
Yes.
we're so eager to belong. The one thing that people need, that everyone needs in life, is connection, and feeling like they're part of something or someone's life. And I'm very grateful to have met you, because you've done so much of that for me that I couldn't begin to repay. Um,
It's an honor, and I appreciate, as I said, the kind words. I'm glad serendipitously that we did make that connection and we're having
yeah,
this conversation. And like you said, they are cliches, they are sayings, and instead of hey, just another freaking thing that my mom made me, listen to, it's like maybe take the opportunity to learn the wisdom of what it means. And I did and have seen that video. I actually think it's a little bit, it's aged, meaning it wasn't new, but it's making another round on the internet. But his wisdom is there, which is that good and bad is going to continue to happen, and
yeah,
you get to choose how you show up for it.
yep,
And yeah, I mean, it's your choice, and I continue to believe that. And I'm struggling with a few things right now, and I'm choosing to do extra podcasts. I'm choosing to take the trip down to visit the grandkids. I'm choosing to lean into life as opposed to being worried because I'm not currently working.
right. So that's and ironically, that's how I feel all the time when I am at home, especially doing this. I'm struggling with the idea of the Peter Pan lifestyle.
Right.
It's the gig work or being an independent contractor, which I am right now. Is not all it's cracked up to be all the time. And being home next to my wife, who has a business that I work at as well, is we don't we don't necessarily do things the same way,
Right.
in regular life or business. But I'm just thankful to get back out and see what the summer holds. I think we were having this conversation, um, what, about a week ago or something. I was at the grocery store and we chatted a little bit, and um, it's not knowing what your next thing um, is not the end of the world. It's actually quite liberating at times, um, but it's still there, and it's still something that you have to choose to show up to. And
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say I struggle. I don't struggle with the identity side of it. I don't struggle meaning, hey, you're unemployed now. You're worthless loser. I don't feel that way at all. I have been blessed and I am
Yeah,
grateful for the success that I've had over
sure.
the past years, that I've been able to put some aside that allows this to happen and not have that freak out. Like
Right.
I'm leaning in, as I said, leaning into being grateful for that. And I worded it the other day to my son where it was like, I'm living currently on some of my past successes, and I'm looking forward to getting back onto ketosis soon. Like I'm back, back to a steady income where I don't have to worry about depletion.
Y-
But at the same time, I'm not, I'm back to that what started this. I'm not allowing it to make me feel bad about myself. It's just
Right.
you see the news and you just worry just in general.
Well, just to go back to where we met, um, you know, just to kind of tie this into current times, when we met there, you walked into a room of, you know, uh, just idiots running around complaining that we couldn't have sugar in our coffee.
Well, I was going to say sugar in
We
the
were
coffee
hiding
was
coffee in the
contraband. Yeah.
yeah, hiding coffee in the kitchen because we weren't
Yeah.
adults.
Right.
Um, you know, and for those of you that don't know, they try to give you, the home ec lesson that you needed when you were younger, because they think that you can't feed yourself anything but alcohol or pills or whatever. Um, but it's important to two things. I'm sorry, I'm a little scattered when it comes to this because I'm finding to be a lot more emotional than I thought, but it's so fitting to talk about. It's everybody there, everybody in that room that we shared time with
Right.
was struggling with other people's opinions of them, that manipulated their own self worth.
Yep.
And it's whether you're downsized or have changed jobs or whatever, there that perception of what other people think is still there. Um, I've always had an unconventional career, and people don't understand that. They're like, "How can you be in a plane all the time? How can you do this?" And I'm like, "Well, sorry, I don't want to drive and sit in traffic every day to go to the same place to talk to the same people that have horrible attitudes or horrible opinions or whatever. I'd much rather go out and talk to, I'm so blessed to go out and talk to people that are normal people, salt of the earth. And
Yep.
it's hard to keep that perspective going. And it's hard for a lot of people that struggle with addiction to keep their success going. I mean, think about it. I can think of 5 guys that were there for the majority of the time that we were there that died.
Yep. I was going to say almost half, if not half.
Yeah, which is just mind blowing statistic.
Because I think I was the oldest guy there or close to it.
Yeah, there was an older guy, and I wanted to find
The
out who he was.
lawyer,
No, the was he the long haired guy?
I thought he was a lawyer. And
No, he was.
we're probably
He,
breaking every HIPAA
no,
rule
he was.
known to man.
Well, he had like a fake name or something because I think he was like some famous singer songwriter guy. Yeah, seriously.
Can you imagine if there was something like that? I mean, you're probably right. And I'm like, holy shit, I was
Yeah.
there. Anyways.
I mean, but it's yeah, man. There were some great things that came out of that. Some great tools. I think it's a weird time in life for us.
It
Um,
is. It is. And it's going to get weirder and it's going to get, more confusing because you're going to see people's self-worth change with, the perfection that comes with AI, even though there's hallucinations and somebody will correct me, but somebody heard somebody on Spaces yesterday talking about how to be human is to be flawed, is to be not perfect. And that's how, eventually we're going to have to be able to tell who's a human and who's not a human when we're communicating digitally.
well, yeah, I don't know. I still don't know why we even have captchas. Like what prove I'm not a robot, really. You know, don't make me press 1 to speak English. How about that? Well, I mean,
Is this a light pole?
yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned watching the news and all that kind of stuff, and um, it's people are so frustrated around them for no reason, and they can't have a conversation. They can't relate. I think that we're the best people in the world because we can relate. We've had shitty nights that we don't remember. People
Right.
have told us stuff. They've probably lied to us about how bad we were, or lied to us about how we weren't that bad.
We've done stuff that has taken us so close to the edge that the only thing, and I struggled with saying this out loud because I don't know if it would have been worse, but the only thing worse would have been death. Like we've been right up on the edge, and it's like death would have almost been easier with some of the shit we've dealt with coming back.
Yeah, not to beat a dead horse here, but I think this is where a lot of my guilt comes from. Like, so the other day, I think it was like the March 24th or something like that, or it was right around my sister's birthday. But I don't remember the day anymore when I got shot. Right.
Okay.
And like that actually was after rehab, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life. I was like,
yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, you got shot? It was a good thing? It's like, yeah, it was great. So like, you can turn on the news and watch all the horribleness that you want, and fight with a stranger about it, or you can, have a great attitude, touch some grass, and keep moving. And I mean, Rob, I don't know, like you show up for your family every day, and it's really. I look up to that. It's so I don't know how many people could judge how you spend your time. But that doesn't mean that you don't feel weird about it. Like, it doesn't mean that you don't feel like you're not doing the right things. And my life has changed dramatically. Like, I have I guess a step grandson. I don't even know how you like. I don't even know if that's a thing. It's just
You can just call him your grandson. You can take all the other words off.
Right. But like people still bring, like, they're like, oh, so what, I mean, whatever. But my wife's head over heels about it, and I'm just like, wow, this kid's gonna change my life in ways I don't know.
She seems enamored to a level that I would have to believe. This is another soundbite. I would have to believe that positivity is coming to you accidentally, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not on purpose for sure. You're in the halo.
It's more of like a psychotic obsession. But yes, I mean, it's on its way to being a profoundly great thing. Not that it isn't already.
Right.
It's just, those choices and the choices.
Let it change you. That's my words of wisdom. Let it change you. Let it continue to show you the mortality.
Sure.
Let it continue to show you all that. The innocence, I guess, is what I take from it mostly. They're not judging. They just want you to pick them up, right? They just want you to pick them up and hold them and feel your chest. And it's simple.
Yeah, it will be. It will be fun. I think one of my biggest challenges is I was too busy being catching a buzz to start a family, maybe. So those things show up in weird ways. I mean, what do you think? What do you think your best experience from the ranch was? What do you think? What do you think that kept you on this journey? And forgive me, but don't revert back to your shrink talk or your therapy talk.
No, I'm over therapized, and I can definitely go down a rabbit hole of. Yes, I won't do that. I will.
Not that that's not a good thing. I just think that people can't fit, or like they can't listen.
They can't relate. So
well, they can relate to the words that you're saying because they've seen it on some room on like Special Victims Unit or something that on TV.
right.
But they lose what you're trying to say in the process. My personal opinion.
The biggest thing that I took away was I had attended um, I had attended the 12-step programs, going to the rooms, things like that, pre-ranch. And I would really go in and I would really focus on how are all of these people just slightly different than me, that this is where I don't belong. And I think the experience I had with the 12 or 14 or 10, I can't remember how many, we had in the house, was we're all from different places, from different parents, from different ways of life, and we all take a crap the same way. We all tie our shoes the same way. We all relate the same way. We got to, and I was part of what I was thinking about when we were talking earlier. And broke the seal. We found ways to get uh, confidential coffee in the kitchen with contraband sugar. We were
Yeah,
allowed to have coffee, with just during certain times of the day. The
correct.
sugar, I thought, anyways, that was remember, because that's why we
Yep,
would get in the car and go to a meeting off campus, because we would run right to the coffee machines
for sure. Yeah.
like rats. But the sugar was, as I now know, it's worse than any addictive drug out there. The sugar was the drug, and we had that above the cabinet that we could pull down and we could put a little in and get a spoon. And it taught us just maybe almost to the caveman level that we were the same. So when I left there, I would spend more time going in, and I don't really go. I haven't been in years, but I would go in and focus on how we were all more alike. And hey, let me listen to this in such a way that I might use his experience to better myself and why I do belong. So that's really what I took from the 28 days that we spent in Tennessee together.
Yeah, I think that's the lesson that everybody needs though. So it's like for me, it's to explain it a little differently, but it's the same thing. It's that connection and especially the judgment, which I struggle with often.
Right.
But everybody there, you hear their stories and you're like, oh man, their parents must have been wonderful to deal with, and then you're saying, well, wait a minute, what about mine? And then you listen to the professionals that I remember I got somebody on our floor in college got busted with some beer cans or something, and like
Right.
I had to go to this counselor. I mean, I'm a freshman in college, for God's sakes. I had to go to this counselor. And they're like, well, how often do you drink? And I was like, a couple times a week. And she was like, oh, I'm going to refer you to a inpatient program for 12 months. And I was like, what? Like, you're crazy.
Right.
And then you talk to somebody else and they say, oh, you should be going out every night. It's like, when in reality, people just need to be not judged. And you need to, a little bit of kindness goes a long way. I mean, you never know what somebody else is battling. And if they could all realize that, yeah, everybody's got some messed up stuff that they didn't want to happen in their life or whatever. But if you be an open person, you're talking about Deadheads. I think they have the biggest hearts in the world because they, but there are also ones out there that really suck.
Yeah.
And that's life. We're given this opportunity to show up how we want to, and if you don't show up, I trust me, nothing's going to get better. And the isolation and with I think what people are going through now with the news and all these batshit crazy people that are supposedly smart enough to run our lives and our country, and you're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
where are you coming from? Like, what classroom did you get stuck in where somebody decided to, like, tell you that this was the way, when it's just not? It's drop the cloak, give a smile, show up, and this too shall pass, right?
Crazy is definitely in front of us all right now, and as you said, this too shall pass. Last thing I'm going to close this out with. I'm really grateful that you showed up and you wanted to do this again. I'm doing, or have been doing, another segment about friends and adult friends, and you and I, as you said, we talked the other day. I'm grateful that you put in the effort to show up and to let me know that I'm important.
Yeah.
And you're doing the friend stuff in the adult way, the right way. So I'll give you your flowers. And
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. And if you go to a concert and it's somebody I want to see, hopefully you'll send me a ticket. And I'm gonna put this out there in the ether. We want to see Radiohead
Yes.
live.
Yes.
I'd like it to be in a city where we can go 2 or 3 days in a row. And Tom, makes different sets every day. And we can listen to 3 different play sets of our favorite band, and that it can happen anywhere in the world. Are you looking up where they're next? Yeah. They were doing stuff over in Europe last I checked, and nothing sort of lined up with the dates, and I was waiting for something new. So when it comes up and it's available, we need to get it on the calendar.
Yeah, they're in Europe all summer.
That's what I thought I saw.
Yeah, a buddy of mine went and saw them in London, and I use that lightly because he's with my career, I have very few friends around me. I think a lot of people move for their jobs and do all that kind of stuff, but they still have a lot of community.
Right.
My community is out all over the world working,
Yep.
So it's a struggle, but I got really, really quite jealous of my buddy. He went and saw them in, I want to say Ireland. And he stayed there for like 2 weeks and just solo. And I was like, oh man, like I was sitting on my couch and I was like, God, Rob and I could be there right now.
Yes.
Yeah, no, dude, I love podcast stuff. I love that you're doing it. I think that the world needs more, dare I call it, sane people talking about regular stuff.
My guess are sane.
Yeah. Well, hey, trust me. Stephanie and my wife and we're doing a conspiracy theory party later this summer. so
I want to hear about
we
that.
can go down those roads too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'll be really interesting to see what some of my weirdo friends around here think of the world.
Yeah, I want to hear about it. That'd be cool.
But yeah, no, like, I mean, it's simple. It's I think there's so much of an appetite for people. I mean, the podcast world obviously has exploded, but there's so much of an appetite for normal people to have normal conversations. And that everybody has unique stories, and some of us just have weirder ones. Yeah.
And I want to talk to the ones that have both.
Yeah, there's time and place for both. That's for sure. But again, you got to show up.
Agreed. All right. I appreciate you. I'm going to let you go. Thanks, Ronnie.
Thanks, Ronnie. It was good to see your face, buddy.
Love you both. Enjoy.
Peace.
We just